my act for a long time until about 2004 when Todd Carr approached me about writing the book Roy Benson by Starlight. And when I agreed, I had to have Frank Radke of Fekini make me a set of billiard balls for the Benson book. So I learned the Benson routine for the book. And as long as I had the props, I decided maybe I should think about putting the billiard balls into the act. So I composed a piece of music, and that's the music that you saw in the video for my billiard ball routine. And I had the Fekini balls. And I figured out a way that instead of Roy Benson producing, it was a routine based on Benson, instead of producing 6 balls, I figured out a way to produce 7 balls. So I was practicing it, and then I had sort of like a mental block. Basically, I was so nervous about doing the routine with 7 balls that I just couldn't get myself to do it on stage. And then I remembered something that jugglers do. Sometimes if a juggler has to juggle 7 balls on stage, he'll practice with 8 or 9 balls in rehearsal, so that it's so much easier to do the 7 that trick becomes easy enough when you're nervous and in a performing situation. So I technically figured out a way to do 8 billiard balls, 8 full-size 2¼ inch billiard balls with no body loads. And I sat there and I practiced it, and when I looked at my hands in that mirror, I had the sinking feeling because I saw the 8 balls in my hands. I said, you know, I can't stop at 6. I'm going to have to do this routine with 8. And I worked and I worked and I worked, and I found a way to do this routine with 8 billiard balls. Now, coming up next, I'm going to show you the equipment required, the equipment that I use for my 8 billiard ball routine. So keep watching. So now, to do my billiard ball routine, obviously we need billiard balls. And to do it, I had Fekini manufacture for me a set of 5 2¼ inch billiard balls. These are full billiard size balls, 5 of them, and 3 shells. Remember, 5 solid plus 3 shells. I've got 1, 2, 3 shells. Now, each one of these shells has those little sticky bits in it, so that it keeps the shell from sticking to the ball. It turns out to be very important for this routine. On stage, I have a bag in my case, and it's based on Roy Benson's bag. Basically, it's just a bag to hold 2 balls. But the other one early in the video, I sewed that myself, and this one I sewed as well. Just got some some suede to make a little attractive little bag. So we have a ball, and then let me get the shells set here. Ball goes in a shell, and in the Benson style, it sits inside the bag. So I got 2 balls and 1 shell in the bag. Now, inside my prop case, it's open in the top, so it's a top-loading case. I can go inside. I have a container, a holder to hold billiard balls. And the first holder I made was this holder here. And it's just basically, it's 3 tubes, 1, 2, 3 tubes, in which you can place billiard balls on them, like this. And they sit in there. There's a reason for the shape. This ball just sits regular. But if I need to reach inside a case and palm a ball and pick one up at the fingertips, by making this one taller and my hand goes in, it comes into palm position and it's right there. So it's like 3 little smokestacks. Now, I made this little holder, and I showed it to my friend Riccardo Fantasio. And Fantasio, is a brilliant mechanical guy. I mean, Fantasio, I'll give you a Fantasio story. Richard Ross did his act. He had a chest and the drawers, and he had a pedestal stand, and it was top heavy. And in order to keep the prop from falling over, he had a lead weight that he would travel with, and it would lock up inside the base of the container, of the stand. So he traveled all around the world with the prop thing folded up and a lead weight, a heavy lead disc. So he's doing a show with Fantasio in Europe at some point, and Fantasio says, "What are you carrying that lead weight for?" And Richard Ross says, "Well, to keep the thing from toppling over." And Fantasio says, "Why don't you use a container of water?" So that's what Richard Ross started to do. He knew immediately it was the right idea. You don't have to carry a container. A heavy piece of lead. You may get a container with liquid. You get to a job, you fill it up with water, it gets heavy, you stick it in the bottom of your prop equipment, you do your act. At the end of the show, you empty the water, and suddenly your act is 20 pounds lighter. So when Fantasio saw this, he said to me, "This is very dangerous," he said, because see, now these containers are plastic, and they're kind of like bolted onto this piece of plywood. By the way, these are, I think, contact lens fluid containers in here, contact lens fluid containers. And Fantasio said this could break off and get damaged in transport. So he gave me a different suggestion, and this is what I followed. And I made a second version, and this is the one I currently use. It's basically detachable, and then these screw in on top like this. And what these are, this is a contact lens solution, but these other things, if you might recognize, they are empty rubber cement containers. You know, rubber cement containers cut down in different heights. So what I do is I cut the top off, the metal cap, and I screw the metal cap in, and then the body, you know, flops around. So incidentally, these little pieces, when I'm transporting the act, these little pieces go inside the leather bag. So we got the leather bag with the top, and then all the equipment, by the way, the 5 balls. This is my spare set. 5 balls and 3 shells fit in one tube. So basically, you're carrying the tops. Basically, if you're carrying this, that's the whole rig for everything, and no body loads, no clips, or anything like that. So now, let's show you the setup of the equipment. The first thing is on this little stand, on either end, I put 2 solid balls. And then remember, we got these little sticky, not sticky, but these little spongy pads that keeps the shell from sticking. They cap a ball on either side, and that's important for these bits because you don't want that shell to stick. So here you have a ball in a shell, goes like that, and this is what I do. Now this is set up in my prop case like this. And this has got Velcro on the bottom, so this sticks inside my prop case so nobody can see this, but I can reach in and get it. So, a bag with 2 balls in a shell, 3 balls, and this ball has got a shell on either side. That's the complete setup, and that's how I begin my routine. That's all I need. That's all I need. No body loads. So, coming up next, I'm going to show you my secret on the routine. And now to recap, inside my prop case, hidden from view, I have this little stack of 3 balls and 2 shells over the center ball. And we have the container with the balls. And then in the middle of the stage, I have my toss bag, which I drop my props in throughout the show. So I roll up my sleeve, I pull out this the bag, and I toss one ball, and I put the other ball in front, and I do this. Now, I do the old thing that Cardini used to do, which is this sort of move. But, you know, I think that, you know, when you do a repetitious effect, it's far more deceptive if you vary your methods. That's one of my fundamental rules, right? So I don't like doing this twice this way. So I'll do it once this way, and then I'll do it the second time this way. It's the same effect. I'm stealing a ball from behind the shell, but the other time I'm doing it so one hand comes up, one hand comes down. So I start my routine off by telling the audience that I'm going to do some juggling. So I'll do this. Catches, and I say I do invisible juggling, which looks like this. I put a ball there, disappears, reappears there. Then this hand comes in, goes here, and usually I don't even bother to palm this. I just leave that ball against my chest, leave this hand open, and then as this hand produces this ball disappears on the other hand. So I spread out both my arms, and the audience sees the effect. Now, we don't have enough camera, the camera's not wide enough to catch all of this, but so in other words, I take the billiard balls, and instead of making it a trick where everybody else is doing it in one spot, I take the balls and I make it big. I make it as wide as my arms. So now, recap. I make the balls, go from one side to the other, and then the last time here. Now, when I bring my hands together, I reproduce that ball from the shell, because I don't want the audience to figure out which hand has the shell, or which ball splits. So by doing both hands, it's very hard to tell that it came from either hand. Just suddenly there's a third ball. Then I do the Roy Benson vanish from here. I show this ball disappears, and I say the ball traveled back into the box. I reach into the box and pick up this one ball. Place that ball into between the fingers, these middle and ring fingers. Place this ball up here. I show both sides. I let a ball drop and bounce. I'm not trying to prove it's billiard. Remember, I tell the audience that this is juggling. I put one ball there, steal a ball. But instead of producing a ball this way, like Cardini or Benson, I have a ball classic palmed here, and I go this way. I spread out my arms this way. And with a ball classic palmed on this side, with my hand to the back, I produce a ball. This is like a Levent production here. So I come this way and produce a ball. And by having my arms spread, it makes it a grander effect, at least in my mind. Also, what I'm doing is that since the shell is on this side, whenever there's a shell exposed, I try to avoid looking at it. So when I do this and I steal a ball, suddenly there's an exposed shell, I'm looking here. I never look at where the shell is. I'm always looking away. Bang, I produce that ball. Now this hand comes up, takes the ball to this hand, and then I swing the whole thing around, and this shell is being protected by the other balls covering it. I do the Roy Benson type vanish, 1, 2, and 3, and the ball disappears, right? So I go 1, 2, 3, I say the ball is going to fly over to the box. It's gone. Now when I reach into the box, real hard stuff now, because you got to keep in mind that the Fekini shell is bigger than a 2 1/4 inch billiard ball, okay? It's bigger. These balls are billiard size, so the Fekini shell is bigger than a billiard ball, a professional billiard ball. So when this hand goes in the case, it classic palms a ball and picks up the other balls at the fingertips. And then this hand comes up and places the biggest possible ball, which is 2 shells in a solid, in my pinky. So that's being held in my pinky, and I hold it this way to hide the seam of the ball. So the heaviest, biggest object is now at the weakest point, which is at my pinky and my ring finger. So now, audience sees this. They don't see a classic palm ball here. So there's 1, 2, 3 shells there plus a ball in my hand. 3 plus 1 equals 4. I'm 4 balls ahead. I can go to 8 balls and the audience would never see it coming. No body loads. First ball I produce to here. I put I steal the Benson Master move and I steal the ball from the shell. I transfer this hand this way, produce another ball. And now here comes the hard stuff. I place this finger here, grab the shell with the ball, put the solid ball at my pinky, and then put the shell on this fingertip like this. So now I'm here. Now what I do next is I take this shell off the ball, transfer the ball from pinky to pinky, and then steal this ball from inside the shell. So I'm at 8 balls. Audience doesn't see it, but I'm holding in this hand, the most difficult possible way, shells that are bigger than 2 1/4 inch. I transfer this hand behind my back and I dump these balls into the prop case. They drop 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm left with these 4 balls. I do the move that I won't explain it because it's in Tim Wright's video, but it's Tim Wright's move. It's a fantastic move. I do that move. I drop these balls one at a time behind my prop case. When I get down to 2 balls, I do the continuous ball production. But what I do is I change the, remember when I say when you do a repetitious effect, you should always vary your methods, right? So I don't believe that if you're going to do continuous ball production, you shouldn't always do the same palm. You shouldn't always have your hand back. So what you do is, one time I show the palm of my hand, the back of my hand. Palm of my hand, back of my hand. When I get down to here, I do this next move, which actually was inspired by a guy named Sid Flegel, who used to work in the magic shop with me, the House of Hocus Pocus in Brooklyn. He did something, he was joking around one time, he says, look, my hands were sewn wrong, and he would do this, making it look as if his hands were the same. I remembered that because in a weird way how the brain works, you kind of put together something like that and you come up with this. When I get to the last continuous ball, I bring a ball up into this hand and turn this hand over and show this hand and split the ball. And it's funny because it's fast. This back of the hand almost looks like it's the front of the hand, and it looks like the ball splits. I'm just turning my hand over. So again, 1 ball's classic palm comes up here. I show this forward, but the audience doesn't see that ball there. I split the ball into 2. Come together, I do the old Harry Leet move, the elevator. I come here, now I've got this extra ball in here, and I remembered the thing, the Newton's cradle. Remember the thing, the balls that go click, clack, click, you know, it's a little desk accessory. Well, after I do this and do the elevator move, I need to get rid of this ball. So I drop this ball into my container. I have a container here in the studio. So when I drop this, it drops into the container like that. And then I do some of the Alexander ball roll stuff. And then I do a move like this. Now, Roy Benson, was doing this. And certainly inspired by my friend Jeff McBride, I added some mime element to it. So instead of just the ball going there, the ball goes there, and then my hand comes in, and then I added this to it. But certainly I thought of Jeffrey when I came up with this. So this hand comes here, boom, boom. When I get to here, I do the trap vanish, reproduce the ball to V, do my V vanish. I do the Cardini the Cardini retention banish. I come around here, I toss the ball, catch it at my fingertips. Then we have the spotlight operator come really, really tight on the ball like this. And then I do the Alexander ball roll. I put the ball from finger to finger. I drop the ball and I make a fist, and then the lights go out. And that is my billiard ball routine, which I guess I still reserve the rights. This is my routine, but for posterity's sake, I want people to see how it's done. Just one little secret I want to tell you. The reason I'm able to do such a harsh routine with 3 shells is because I know something about optics. If you look at the solar system, planets, right? When you look at like a harsh single source, like the sun, if you look at the moon, it looks like a half a sphere. When I do my routine, I have them kill all the lights on stage. This is the secret here. And I have a single spotlight operator. And sometimes they put a diffusion. I have them take it off, so it's a harsh look. So that because of the shadows with that one spotlight, a solid ball, all the people see is the front. So the solid balls look like a shell. So in that sort of lighting, you can't tell the difference between a solid and a shell. So I use a single spotlight, and that's my secret there for the billiard balls. Anyway, I want to thank you very much for watching this, and good luck. So thank you very much. Wow, I'm truly impressed that you sat through the whole bibliography of this video. So as a little gift to you for helping out, a little bonus, I'm going to show you a little class on how to make gimmicks. First gimmick you want to make is, of course, the ball holder. And take a coat hanger, get some eye protection, because you always wear eye protection. No matter how safe it seems, you always wear eye protection. And then get a pair of pliers. Cut a coat hanger. That's what it is. Straighten out the coat hanger. Straight out coat hanger. Get a piece of pipe. And then what I usually do is I usually, I'll show you the trick on this, get a piece of pipe, and you hold a pair of pliers, and you hold the wire to the pipe, like so. Let me stand a little better. Wire is connected to the pipe. Then you just wrap the wire around the pipe like that. And look, there you go. Got a little loop. Now you get a little distance on this. Let's make it, say, make it a big one. Let's make it a big holder here. Got 1, 2, 3, about this much. Okay, so got a piece of wire. We repeat the process. We hold the wire this way. And we wrap the pipe around it, or rather wrap the wire around the pipe. Put the pipe away. And look, that's what we got. Now, straighten it out a little bit. Get a little bit of tape. I'm going to use this white gaffer's tape because it's easy to tear, but it really should be black tape. This also makes it easier for you to see. So you got that loop there. Put a piece of tape around that to seal up that loop. Tighten it up. Okay, do the same thing on the other end. Like so. Now, I'm doing kind of a sloppy job, but you get the idea. So, now, simple process. You want to finish this up. Hold one end. Give it a bend like that. Hold the other end. Well, it depends on the size. Actually, it depends on the size of the billiard ball. We'll make it a little bit smaller here. Give it a bend one side. Give it a bend it the other way. Okay, and there we go. Billiard ball holder. See? Get another piece of tape. Take a safety pin. Hang this here. Hang the safety pin with the tape. And now you could do a real good job on this, but I'm doing kind of a junky quick job here. And look, there you go. There you go. Billiard ball holder. Takes 2 seconds. Okay, get a coat hanger, tape, and safety pin. Easy peasy. Thanks for watching. Boy, you people don't give up, do you? All right, one more thing. Take a coat hanger, right? Give it a bend, about 1 inch. And then you get a piece of pipe. And give it a little bend, like so. Okay, got a little letter U. Give this thing another bend. And then you can tape this up, tape this together, like that. Then you bend this to a circle. And you need this circle to fit a tube. Where are you going to get a plastic tube? Well, guess what? Fekini billiard balls come in plastic tubes. So you put this over a Fekini container, like this. And you bend it some more. Then when you get to about the opposite side, get the opposite side here, you bend this at about that much degree. Put it through a pipe again. Okay. So we're kind of like this thing now. Bend this. You bend this at a 45. Keep bending it more into a circle. And what you do is now, you're going to do a real good job. I'm kind of doing this like super fast. But basically, you're doing that. And you're wrapping that around and then you put it nice and tight on it. You want it nice and tight, and you put some good solid tape on it. If you put solid tape on it, see, you can make the kind of holder that I used for the Cardini routine. So when you pull one ball away, it locks up on the elastic. Now, of course, you want to make this really nice and tight, so I'm kind of holding it there. And that's how you make the ball dropper, okay? So scram, go away. Get out of my studio. I'm tired. I've been shooting this video for like 10 days or something ridiculous like that. All right? And thanks for watching, and goodbye. And practice. Keep practicing the billiard. And learn how to do a ball roll. In case I didn't mention, a ball roll is like this. You hold the ball like this, and then you move from finger to finger to finger. I don't think I even mentioned it on the video, so I'm showing it to you now. Look, want to hold it like this? Boom, 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 boom. You do that all day, and you'll have no friends. Bye-bye. Take care. Remote control. Over and out. Bye.